name is Ellie DiLapi, and I use the pronouns she, her, hers. I was the director of the Penn Women's Center from 1985 to 2006, and I also am an alumni of the School of Social Work. I graduated in 1977, so I share both the roles of a staff person and an alum. What the Penn Women's Center means to me is so much. One is that it is an acknowledgement by this university that all is not fair and things have been difficult for some groups more than others. The anti-rape sit-in in 1973 really brought to the forefront the unique and special safety concerns that women have that men don't have in terms of safety and moving around, and also the risk of rape. The university had accepted the fact that it needed to do something for women, and that because of the conditions for women, it needed to be for all women and not just women students. It needed to be faculty, staff, students, and the community. The fact that the Women's Center had two very different focuses, one being for faculty, students, staff, and community. The other one is that it was an explicit advocacy function, which meant that it was the job of the Women's Center director in particular to make sure that the university is responsive to women's concerns. The hope of the Penn Women's Center is that there is a presence on campus, a constant reminder that women matter, that we understand that all women matter. One of the things that I was very, and continue to be very aware of, is the real problems in white women's movement, of really not including women of color, of not fully embracing an anti-racist perspective. We really wanted to make sure that we were promoting and educating about an anti-racist feminism. Institutionally, the fact that women are on the walk was one of the major accomplishments. The point of having a safe space, the point of having a place that different groups of women could come together and meet, that different things can happen, not just one thing at a time, was really important. So getting this kind of space became a real win, I think, for the women's community, is that we had deserved a space on Locust Walk. I just want to underscore the importance of the Women's Center role in raising issues around violence against women, which is really important because there's so much blaming the victim in our culture. And, you know, it's sort of like why we adopted an empowerment model for counseling, is like, you listen, you validate, you say, I believe you, it's not your fault. What do you need? What can we do together for you? And what can we do for other women too? They were critical in getting the VAWA Act to include a campus program. That was Penn. That was the Penn Women's Center. That was our folks. That was us who went and helped the senators understand that this is an important issue. As a result of that, we also got a grant from the Violence Against Women Act, a campus grant. That stuff has not been elucidated enough, because the role that we have played in safety and security for women on campus, it has not been replicated anyplace. We have been looked at as the model for doing that, because if one person gets hurt, they're not the only person affected. It's everybody in their lives is affected, whether they're talking about it or not. And one of the things I learned as a social worker is that you need to look at individual problems and connect them to social issues and public concerns, and the importance of the Women's Center doing that. One of the advocacy roles that the Women's Center took on was to look at what are the barriers to women's success and women's advancement and women reaching their goals. And to be able to walk safely on campus was so critical. To be able to have a place that women felt comfortable walking into. Again, all women. The Women's Center has always been there for all women. We were particularly concerned about lesbian, bisexual, trans women of color. The issues around intersectionality have always been important. We still need to keep fighting. I mean, things are not level. Things have gone backwards in many ways. The fact that Roe v. Wade has been taken away as a right for women in this country to control our own bodies is so serious. It is, I also think, a reflection of the backlash of all the successes that the women's movement has had. It doesn't surprise me. And one of the things that I think has been really good about the Women's Center is that our values have remained consistent. Things have changed since I've been here. The values of being inclusive, the values of being welcoming for everybody, the values of protecting women's rights, this notion of how do we build community and building community. One of the things, because the Women's Center had that community piece as part of who we are to serve, my hope is that the men understand women need to be there. But it's not that women need to be in this structure. We all need to be in a different structure because this structure is built on white supremacy and patriarchy. It is built on misogyny. There is a lot of education that needs to be done that exposes the structural inequities, which is why the Women's Center is so important, is that advocacy function, really honoring the mission of a place like the Women's Center. And the role that the people in the Women's Center have is a very delicate role, because it is at the juncture of the institution and the community. That the role of the Women's Center was to make it easier for women to be successful here, whether they were here as students, faculty, staff, or they're a community person that is affected by what happens on campus. One of the best days for us here was graduation day, when we were able to be outside this building, especially when we were here, and host a little food and gathering afterwards. But to watch the women who graduated and the men who graduated who had come and used our services, to know that we made a difference in one person's life mattered. To see the number of people that I know that if they didn't have the support of the Women's Center, and it's not my support, it was the counselors, but it also created a broader vision of what gender equity is about, or what women's equality is about. It's about for everybody. This isn't about just doing for us and everybody else who cares. No, this is about us collectively doing it. I would like there not to need to be a Women's Center. Unfortunately, it probably still needs to be here, but I think that there needs to be more resources that are dedicated to helping individuals, but also working with groups, which also is about collecting information and data and using science to support the efforts for equity. Growth is the natural state of being for us as people, I think, and I am a lifelong learner. And I think that is a reality for most of us that ought to be embraced. What is true is that people come to an environment like Penn to grow, to live, to evolve, and hopefully has the resources. I wore my Sankofa button, and Sankofa is a Ghanaian mythical bird with its feet planted forward and its head turns back. And it's about taking from the past what is useful for the future. So my hope about the action is that we look at things that have occurred in the past that we might be able to move into the future. We got to do it together. I mean, it's so important that it is a diverse, inclusive, respectful collection of like-minded folks moving towards equity together. The future of gender equity on campus has a lot to do with the leadership that the Women's Center provides. And I have full confidence that it will continue to lead the way.